Learning to delegate effectively is more than just finally letting go of the idea that I can do it better myself. One of the things that makes delegation so hard to do well is that the whole idea of delegating changes as you advance in your leadership and as each of your team members advance in their capabilities. Michael Hyatt, in his book Free to Focus, describes 5 distinct levels of delegation. Moving into each successive level feels risky, but there are benefits to each progression and there are ways to mitigate those risks. The first level is what Michael Hyatt calls do as I say. When delegating to a particularly inexperienced team member or delegating for high risk, high profile responsibility for which you are an expert, you may specify in detail exactly what you want your team member to do. The second level Michael labels research and report. At this level, you will ask your team member to research options and present them to you. You will still make the final decision and give clear instructions, but you're inviting a taste of autonomy for your team member. The third level is research and recommend. With a more experienced team member, you can invite them to make their own evaluation of the research and recommend a course of action. You still retain the right to approve their recommendation and authorize them to act on it, or to override their suggestion with instructions of your own. The fourth level is decide and inform. Here, you're no longer the decision maker. You have enough trust in your team member to let them make their own choice. In order to lead effectively, though, you'll want them to inform you of their choice and their progress. The fifth and final level is act independently. At this level, you trust their judgment so much that you no longer even need to stay informed. The biggest risk for each of these levels is a misunderstanding of exactly how you're delegating and at which level. To mitigate that risk, be sure to explain at the beginning of the conversation what kind of delegating you're doing, and specifically what expectations you have of your team member. If they're to report back, for which events and under what circumstances? If you'd like a thinking partner to help you evaluate the appropriate level of delegation for your team, let's talk. Visit stevedwyer.com/talk to start the conversation.